Hey, Pastor Jennifer here again with the Psalm cast. This time we're at Psalm 10, looking at a very particular kind of psalm. It's a psalm of affliction. The whole text will be in the comments below, and I hope you'll see them there. We'll talk about this a little bit more after I finish with the text of the psalm. Here goes, the New International Version. Why, O Lord, do you stand far off? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? In his arrogance, the wicked man hunts down the weak who are caught in the schemes he devises. He boasts of the cravings of his heart. He blesses the greedy and reviles the Lord. In his pride, the wicked does not seek him. In all his thoughts, there is no room for God. His ways are always prosperous, and he is haughty, and your laws are far from him. He sneers at his enemies. He says to himself, nothing will shake me. I will always be happy and never have trouble. His mouth is full of curses and lies and threats. Trouble and evil are under his tongue. He lies in wait near the villages. From ambush, he murders the innocent, watching in secret for his victims. He lies in wait like a lion in cover. He lies in wait to catch the helpless. He catches the helpless and drags them off in his net. His victims are crushed, they collapse, they fall under his strength. He says to himself, God is forgotten. God covers God's face and never sees. Arise, Lord, lift up your hand, O God. Do not forget the helpless. Why does the wicked man revile God? Why does he say to himself, God won't call me to account? But you, O God, do see trouble and grief. You consider it and take it in hand. The victim commits himself to you. You are the helper of the fatherless. Break the arm of the wicked and evil man and call him to account for his wickedness that would never be found out. The Lord is king forever and ever. The nations will perish from his land. You hear, O Lord, the desire of the afflicted. You encourage them and you listen to their cry, defending the fatherless and the oppressed, in order that man who is not of the earth may terrify no more. Oftentimes with Psalms, we hear that they're divided into four categories. There are Psalms of praise, there are Psalms of lament, there are Psalms of thanksgiving, and there are Psalms of petition, asking for God to intervene. Technically, the psalm probably falls into one of those petitionary kinds of aspects. We do hear the psalmist calling for God to take up revenge, retribution against this terrible human being who's being described. It's interesting to note that really the psalmist is talking about a person who expects to get away with whatever terror that they are inflicting upon weaker human beings. The psalmist expects that the villain is not ever really going to be brought to justice, but calls out to God to make that happen. This is, again, why the Psalms are so powerful for our day. There are so many people who find themselves treated unequally under the law, treated unequally. They don't have access to various protections. And so this Psalm of affliction really will speak to that experience. And so I think that's really the value of that psalm, is to think about the person who is the underside of privilege, the underside of whatever access to the blessings that a society might otherwise provide, and read the psalm from that perspective and really see that, and also read the psalm from the perspective of the people who perhaps unthinkingly are a part of those systems of oppression. That'd be a good idea too. Psalm 10 for your consideration. Look forward to seeing you next time with the Psalmcast. Be blessed and be a blessing.